If you wanted to buy your very first Rolex from the AD and wear it as a daily, which one would you choose? The Oyster Perpetual 36 in black or the Datejust 36 in silver? The answer is the Oyster Perpetual, and we'll talk about why. Without getting into steel sports, which are more difficult to find at the authorized dealer, let me know in the comments what your choice would be for a very first Rolex. Both are fairly obtainable at the AD, with some waiting time required. The color dials of the OP are much more difficult, but the basic black or silver are less popular right now, so they're easier to get. And same thing with the Datejust, the black, white, or silver are easiest to get, but some of the other dials such as green, blue, or Wimbledon are more difficult. The Oyster Perpetual is the most affordable Rolex, and it's a good value because it has all the same build quality, durability of Rolex, and it contains a workhorse 3130 movement. You can reduce the price of the Datejust by going with the domed bezel instead of the fluted bezel, but it's still more expensive in the same case size. The higher price does give you a date complication and the Cyclops lens, but I don't have a great need to tell the time on my watch. I change out my watches so much that I usually skip setting the date, and I use my computer or my phone to tell the date. So overall, the OP gives a better bang for the buck. The Oyster Perpetual is also slightly more versatile, with its basic black dial, the stick hour markers, plain bezel, and all brushed bracelet. It's a sporty and more casual option compared to the Datejust. But all that doesn't mean it's boring. Look closer and the dial is not so basic. It's finished in a subtle sunray pattern, which can play in the bright light. The hour markers are surrounded with white gold, well loomed, and the double sticks at 3, 6, and 9 give it some extra interest. And the dial still has nice symmetry without the Cyclops lens breaking things up. So if you want a first and only Rolex as a daily watch, the OP wins in terms of versatility and wearability. The Datejust is a more formal and dressier option with its fluted bezel and the polished center links, and the option of getting it on a Jubilee bracelet. At first glance, the case design looks to be the same classic Oyster case on both, but on closer look you can see slight changes from the older generation OP and this current model Datejust. On the current version Datejust, the lugs have been slimmed down and tapered, which I generally prefer since it looks more elegant on the Datejust. But since my Oyster Perpetual is from the previous generation, the lugs still look wider and bulkier, giving it larger shoulders. It doesn't look as refined, but I still think it works on this OP to give it a more casual look and overall a slightly bigger wrist presence. Both of them are very comfortable on the wrist. My wrist is 6.5 inches, so the 36mm diameter works just right for me. Both of them have that great Rolex build quality. They feel very solid on the wrist, but they're still lightweight and not too heavy. Both are easy to find the right size on the bracelet by either adding or removing links or using the micro adjustments, but the older Oyster Perpetual doesn't have that easy link extension within the clasp, which I do think is beneficial on my newer Datejust. So as a very first and a daily wearing Rolex, both of these are tied in terms of availability, and you can get the pricing down to be similar, but the OP wins in terms of value for money and wearability and versatility.